For centuries, the concept of a savior has been treated as a historical mystery or a religious archetype. But if we look at the mechanics of human consciousness, we find something closer to a measurable biological frequency. High-level presence is an active field that directly influences the nervous systems of those around it. Most of our lives are spent in the egoic mind, a noisy chamber of chatter and judgments. In this state, our presence is performative and fragmented, driven by a search for validation or a reaction to past experience. It is a state of constant, subtle distraction. When individuals in this state interact, they create social entropy. This diagram shows the result, a series of erratic, uncoordinated frequencies that collide and drain the energy of the group. To reverse this, an individual must build what we might call the architecture of the sacred man. This isn't a performance. It requires the difficult process of hollowing out the ego and quieting the noisy demands of the self-active personality. The collapse of the self-active ego creates an internal void. This empty space serves as the foundation for a vessel capable of holding the frequencies of others without being overwhelmed by them. As an individual develops self-mastery, their internal frequency stabilizes. This shift into heart-brain coherence creates a smooth, harmonious sine wave, signaling physiological safety. This coherence is broadcast by the heart's electromagnetic field, a rhythmic generator up to 5,000 times stronger than the brain, acting as the primary information carrier for your internal state. When you are in this state, you engage in a rhythmic, balanced interchange. You stop reacting to the room and instead act as a biological pacemaker. Your steady rhythm becomes the dominant frequency in the environment. This initiates frequency pulling. Through limbic resonance, your coherent heart rhythm literally pulls the dysregulated nervous systems of others into synchronization. You provide a regulatory anchor that calms their internal chaos. Achieving this biological rhythm is an active physical restructuring of your surroundings. It transforms a private state of peace into an environmental force that stabilizes everyone within its reach. The second pillar is the top-down control of the mind, undivided wakefulness. This indigo structure represents the true self, remaining still even in disruptive situations. This mental discipline enables generative listening. You see through the eyes of the other without the egoic need to fix them, becoming a holding space for an emerging future, filtering out the world's noise. From this state of presence, your attention interacts with the other person's probability field. By observing them with unconditional positive regard, you provide the space for their defensive reactivity to collapse, allowing their own true self to emerge. This polarized, non-reactive awareness acts like stained glass. It filters the white noise of external pressure and reveals the inherent holiness inside the other person. We see the power of this directed presence in high-stakes crisis work. Professional hostage negotiators don't succeed through dominance, but through the absolute mastery of their own internal state. By maintaining a calm cadence and emotional control, the negotiator removes themselves as a threat. This steady presence induces coherence in the counterpart, allowing their brain to operate at its most efficient level for problem-solving and de-escalation. This effect scales from individuals to entire populations. This is known as the Maharishi effect, the principle that when as little as 1% of a population achieves a high state of coherence, the entire social field becomes more orderly. In 1993, a study in Washington, D.C. found that a group of practitioners reached a threshold of coherence that correlated with a 24% reduction in violent crime rates in the city. Similar studies in the Middle East during the early 90s showed that group coherence was linked to significant reductions in terrorist attacks and conflict intensity. A single person holding this frequency acts as a non-linear influencer. You become a seed of order in a high-entropy environment, disproportionately neutralizing stress for the collective. This integration of heart and mind transforms your presence into a living architecture. You become a Cathedral of Light, a structure of numinous presence. When someone enters this field, Their body registers the shift. Their mind quiets and they experience profound contact, feeling genuinely seen. This architecture provides the spatial safety for others to remember their own true self. It serves as a holding space where their inner identity can emerge without being managed or solved. Our world is filled with the neon noise of the ego. What is required are unshakable structures of presence. Build your cathedral. Reach for that coherence. Become the seed of order.